Hey guys, we're back with another episode. We'll have a Troy preview, but most importantly, we had a great conversation with former NC State running back James Washington. It was a fascinating conversation. We covered all sorts of topics that I was stoked about. We talked about what it's like being recruited, like what it's really like being recruited, playing in Carter Finley, what the fans really mean to players, having a loaded backfield, what it's like playing with loaded backfield, Tom O'Brien, Dave Dorn, whipping UNC. And could James Washington beat Russell Wilson in a foot race? Find out right here in this podcast. Among other topics. It was a fascinating conversation. I really hope you enjoyed as much as we did. Thanks for listening as always. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It's season 2, episode 2, and it is game week. We have Troy coming up this week. It feels like it's been forever since the bowl game. And I know, all the fans are excited. I'm sure the players are too to get back on the field. There's a lot of excitement for a game when we're favored by 26 points, I think what the line was a little while ago.
It's up to, the last I had seen it was 25.5. But
yeah, whatever, splitting hairs. I can't wait for Saturday. I hope we win by 26.5. I'm just happy to actually finally have some football.
Yeah, I wish we could. I'm excited for the game, but I kind of just wish we could skip the first 4. Because we're not going to know how good our team is until that first conference game.
Right. I mean, I agree with you, but I think it's kind of a necessary evil.
Yeah. And I think that's tough, too, because we've got the 2 road games against small schools could be weird, but we'll cover that later. Back to Troy.
Yeah, Troy, first-year coach. I think he was the Kentucky offensive coordinator last year. They run the air raid offense. I think they're pretty young. I don't know. We're favored by 26 points. I think we should win by 26 points. I listened to the Troy press conference. That's how desperate I am from listening to a Troy press conference. But I like their coach. I liked what he had to say. Like how he had to say it. He didn't cut any corners, and he was very complimentary of the pack, especially on defense. He says everybody says that we're young. He said, but they're talented. They played a lot, which is true. He highlighted Mike Rose. So I like what he had to say. I thought he was sharp. He referenced actual players as opposed to a lot of coaches who just say, they have a good defensive end or they have a good defensive tackle. He mentioned guys' names, so he was paying attention. Ruffin McNeil at ECU does that a lot too, and I think I like that. He doesn't pull any punches, but I like what the coach had to say.
He had a lot of love for Hines. I saw talking about first year freshman. He's the guy that was recruited nationally. Like he's going to be a problem for them. You know what I mean? Yeah, and
we talked about in the first episode. He's going to be a problem for a lot of people. I think he's that good, and I like what Dorn had to say about it. We're going to try to get his feet wet, let him get hit a few times before they put him, give him an increased role. But I think we're going to see a lot of them this year. I don't know, Troy runs the air raid offense, which means they're going to pass it. They throw a lot of quick passes. So, unfortunately, it puts a little more pressure on the D line to get there even quicker. So you don't give up a lot of sacks when you play the air raid. Typically, I don't know how good or bad their line is.
If they're taking sacks, the offense is not working.
Absolutely. Yeah. Their quarterback, I think, had a good year last year. I think he had a lot of touchdowns. But he was a freshman, and now it's a new scheme, and you never really know what you're going to get. Troy used to have a good program. They were consistently contenders in the Sun Belt, but, it's been a while since I think they've been relevant. And at the end of the day, Pack shouldn't have any problems.
I used to love watching the old Mike Leach air raid when he was at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's a fun offense. It really is. I hope it's not this weekend, but if you've got the personnel, they can move the ball really quick. They can score quick. You're gonna have open backfield a lot of times. It might have worried me a little bit last year with us being really, really young, and we're still young, but they've played some games,
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those, when you get ready to play Georgia Tech, you don't play against the wishbone type offense often, but with this, they're not good. It's not like we're getting them after we've had a game this past Saturday, so we should really tear them apart. But
I think the guys will be so amped up. I mean, we could be playing the School for the Blind, and they would probably go out there and play really hard, which is a good thing, especially the first game. You want to see that. I think, we should blow them out, and hopefully maybe we'll see Jalen McClendon in there throwing the ball around a little bit in the second half. I don't know. It might be too early. They might want to keep Jacoby, getting some live reps, but we'll see. We got a couple games to warm these guys up with.
I think they're up like 4 scores going into the fourth quarter. Jalen's coming in.
Yeah. What's your score prediction?
Oh, man. They weren't good on either side of the ball last year.
Right.
Probably go 42-17, something like that.
You like you were paying attention to my tweets or something. That's exactly what I said.
Was it? I did not see that.
I think the over-under was 58. So that's 59. So it should be, I think, right around there somewhere. It should be. It's weird. It's one of those games where I'm not concerned, which is very rare for a state fan. Even, Georgia Southern, those games last year, because I knew they had good programs. I don't think Troy's got the horses to run this year.
Saw something else I just thought was crazy interesting on the Dave Doran show, actually. Their defensive coordinator used to play or coach in Chapel Hill, didn't he?
He did.
As last year, as a matter of fact.
Was it last year?
Was it the year?
I don't know.
2 years ago?
I'm not sure.
I thought he was part of the wipeout of the whole defensive staff, but it could be the year before. I could be wrong there.
I hope it was. That would be awesome.
Either way, Carolina's defense sucked in too. So we're talking about what Vic Koenning, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. It's Koenning. Koenning.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
So a little familiarity there, maybe, but it doesn't have anything to do with the game. I just thought it was interesting. So
yeah, unless he's completely done a 180 on how he coaches us. I don't think he's going to have much of an impact there.
No, it's not going to be a problem. So, yeah, easy win. Nothing to worry about. It's kind of hard to do a show on this when it should be a blowout, but we're not used to that Alabama-type stuff.
Well, thankfully, for the second half of the show, we have a special guest.
That we do.
Our first ever special guest. I'm so excited.
We're breaking off a good one, though, for the first one.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Our recruiting is Dave Doran-like.
Right? We got a 5-star first time.
I'd like to take a second and thank the sponsors of the podcast, Gizmo Brewery and Raleigh5.com. If you haven't had a chance to check out Gizmo Brewery, I highly recommend you doing so. It's up off 70, just past CarMax, and go in there and ask for their Black Stiletto Stout. It is off the hook. It's awesome. Say hi to Dustin. Tell the Gizmo people that the Red and White podcast sent you. And Raleigh5.com is a once-a-week email of the 5 best things in Raleigh. Cover all sorts of topics. Coincidentally, beer was one of them, and Gizmo Brew is on the list. So go to Raleigh5.com, sign up. It won't spam you. Won't do any of that stuff. Just get one email a week. Some relatively interesting stuff. Check it out. And now back to part 2.
All right, so we're back with former Wolfpack running back James Washington. How you been, man?
I've been doing all right, living.
Living? How you in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm down in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, better weather than us then.
Yes, I mean it's good and bad. It's hurricane season, so we always on alert.
Oh yeah, you just had rain, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's better than that Category 1 that they were predicting.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So it's been a couple years, but James had a junior season, like 897, 7 TDs, over 300 through the air, and he was primed for that 1,000-yard season senior year, and he just had a tough break, man. How's your knee doing?
It's doing okay. I mean, it's a lot better than doctors told me it would be when they first seen it after surgery and so on and so on. I mean, I'm able to do just about any and everything I feel like doing. I mean, it gives me the weather updates earlier. I know when it's raining, it's going to be cold, but other than that, it's okay.
So, in case if you don't remember, because you had an ankle injury earlier, right? Your senior
Yeah,
year?
high ankle sprain.
And then came back against Carolina, and he was like a spark plug. You were tearing it up, and then that was awful to see, man. I hated that for you.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory, but I mean, when I got in, I just knew it was my time to take things over, and that's what I was trying to do.
No. Do you keep up with state still a lot, or?
Yeah, I try to watch the games either if it's online or if it's on TV. I try to pay attention. Like I've been up there for homecoming against Georgia Tech. I was there.
Oh, this past when was that?
Yeah, just
Past
this
year?
past year. Yep.
So you came back from homecoming. Like when you come back as a former player, do you talk to the team or the coach, or how does that all work?
I mean, because there was a lot of former players that came back, so we all talked and met up in the stadium. I knew a few players that was there from when I was there that are like seniors now. So, I mean, I talked to them. A couple of the GAs was there when I was there, and strength and conditioning coaches is there. So I've connected back with them, and like all the former players will meet up and talk or whatever. Talk about how we missed the days of running out of the stadium of Carter Finley.
Right. Have you talked to Coach Doran at all?
I met him actually when he first got hired when I was still doing rehab there. But other than that, I haven't really got a chance to talk to him.
Does he seem like an alright guy to you though, from like short term experience?
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a good guy that can get top talent. I see he's getting a lot of highly recruited players in recruiting.
If you had to compare his personality with your coach T.O.B., who I loved, what would be or is it that stark of a difference like it looks like from the outside?
I would probably say T.O.B. is military. Coach Dorn is, I guess you could say, the coach that the players love to be around. I mean, he's more of a player's coach when Coach O'Brien he's strictly business. Every now and then you might get a laugh or joke here and there, but he's about his business 24/7.
So James, what attracted you to NC State and Coach O'Brien? I mean, did you like that style of coaching, or what was it?
I was already accustomed to that style of coaching because of my high school coach. He was a former Marine. My running back coach was a former Marine. So when I hear O'Brien talk and give me his spiel, I pretty much hear the same person that I played for in high school. But the difference between State and everybody else, they literally told me you can do anything you want to do. You just got to get on this field and earn it. And when I'm given that opportunity, I feel like I can do just about anything, and I wanted to really play running back.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, when you're recruited by, I mean, you had a lot of offers at Cincinnati and a lot of other schools. Were they going after you for other positions?
Yeah, a lot of schools. They were at first. They was athlete, whether it was Miami, LSU, Florida State. They was more like, we can bring you in. You can play running back, you can play receiver, you can play corner. But in high school, at least on the varsity level, I was playing a lot of running back. So I'm like, if I'm leading the state and doing all these big things in Florida at running back, why isn't I getting recruiting as a running back?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, you hardly ever see me line up at DB. So how you think I'm gonna be a DB?
So when schools recruit you and they say, hey, we're recruiting you for an athlete, Do you have in the back of your mind, like, hey, this guy, they want me a cornerback, or how's that work? Or are they just trying to play you as, oh, you can play anywhere?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you can play anywhere. You can get on the field quicker. Yeah, that's true. But deep down inside, you want to play a position in particular. So when they come at you that way, you kind of take a step back, like, whoa, okay, what, you feel like I'm not good enough to play running back at your school or something? Like, that's basically how it feels.
That's awesome. I always see that and I always wonder that. So I finally got an answer.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat insulting, yeah?
Yeah, it is kind of, because I'm like, okay, I had 1,700 yards this year. We was undefeated. We lost in the state championship. Okay, now you're talking about me playing corner. Have you ever seen me play corner? Like, how did that come about? I understand the size and everything, that I might fit perfectly in that position, but you've never seen me backpedal, so how do you know that I can be a corner?
I mean, it makes sense. I never understood why they would do that. Guys are used to a position, or they grew up playing a certain position. They're probably more familiar. Why make them make that transition?
Yeah, the funny thing is, I actually was a great corner, but I had to make a decision to stay away from it because I was in a situation where the varsity coach did want me to play corner, and he was willing to make me a starter my sophomore year. But I knew that if I did that, I wasn't going to be able to play running back anymore. So I had to choose in between which one.
So you said you came up for the homecoming game. I know
It's Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Tom O'Brien started the alumni tradition. Well, I think it was O'Brien, maybe it was O'Mano. One of those guys started bringing all the old guys back to the program. I think that was awesome. Have you gotten a chance to come up for that, or are you going to be planning on doing that in the future?
I plan this past year. I planned on doing it, but schedule got locked up. So I know for sure, like, I'm probably going to be at least 2 games this year, like Clemson and Florida State, and then for the alum stuff, like in the spring, I'm definitely trying to be able to play in that game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I see a trophy that I'm trying to take away from somebody.
Who's that? I gotta ask.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say no names, but I know it's a trophy out there up for grabs, and I'm planning on coming to take it.
I love it. Have you? So you said you follow the team pretty closely, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you think of the progress they've made over the last year or so?
I think it's been going upward. I mean, they've been recruiting real hard, bringing in guys that can play. They've been getting in early as freshmen, sophomores, and showing what they can do on the field. I mean, this year is more the same. They got plenty of talent. They had a favorable schedule. So all they have to do is put a streak together, and you never know. Might get a chance to see the ACC championship in Raleigh.
Oh God, that'll be the day. I'll be so excited.
Hey, I'm shooting for the fence.
All right, so I'm gonna skip down to one of my other questions. When players, you hear them at the press conference and they always say, "Oh yeah, we can win every game." Is that the mentality they have, or are they saying that because sports information told them to say that?
I think it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You try to be politically correct, and then at times you feel like, yeah, we really can win this game. Yeah. But, I mean, you always want to speak positivity into the program, into your team, and hopefully you can speak your way into a win. I mean, because truth be told, 2 out of the 4 games against Florida State, I'm pretty sure 95% of people didn't think we was going to win that game. But we pulled it off.
Oh, yeah. I think I was probably one of those guys like, oh, God. Especially when we were losing at halftime. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did happen.
Don't doubt him, man.
I know. I've learned my lesson.
What is it? This is kind of so the Florida State game. You go into halftime down like that. What's the mentality like that, or that the team feels?
I think you just try to put the first half behind you. I mean, you got a whole another half to play. Yeah, you're down 2 scores, and if you can get out there and get something on the board the first drive, everything's gonna be okay. The defense got there, they force a 3 and out. You have life, and once momentum gets on your side, it's going downhill.
So you just look at it as like a separate game.
Yeah, it's just a whole different game. You just take drive by drive and try to go from there.
Especially in Carter Finley at night, anything can happen.
Yes, I've seen some crazy things. At
Well, we're glad to have you on. I think it's a perfect time this year. Everybody's excited about our running backs. You have, I think it's a strong backfield.
Yes.
Just from a talent standpoint. I think you played with Shad.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have been a freshman then, but
Yep, he was.
the guys they brought in now, what do you think? How good can they be?
I'm just asking, can they make a formation where we can have 5 backs in the backfield?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I mean, you got plenty of them. Find a way to get them all on the field at once. You might have something there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Shad is a good hard nosed downhill runner, and then Matt Days, he pretty much can do it all. Get out there, return kicks, run the ball, catch out the backfield, block. And that's just the top 2. That's not even counting the younger guys. So,
Right.
I mean, Samuels, like, they got so much talent out there. It's like, all right, what do we do now?
I think that's a good problem to have. Is not one we had. I mean, I think you had a loaded backfield with you, Shad, Mustafa, Creasy, even Brandon Barnes was, he had a lot of injuries, but he was highly recruited as a running back too.
Yeah,
that was a pretty stout backfield as well.
True. I mean, I guess history is repeating itself. Hopefully, it works out a lot better.
Yeah. So here's my question.
Okay.
I don't know how often or if you ever read message boards, right? And then fans will see a guy's star rating and they pretend they know everything about. Oh, he's going to be great, right?
Yeah.
So
we read it all the time.
So help us educate message board guy. What should an average guy look for to say this guy's going to be a good running back, or this guy, he's got it, right? What makes somebody different than just an average running back?
See, it's a trick question because you can have a 5-star, and he's highly recruited, and he's coming in, and we thinking he's gonna be all world. He's gonna be the next great, like Mr. Brown. But at the end of the day, like once you get to college, like all that goes away, and everybody's a 0-star, and you're in this depth chart. You're competing for reps. You're trying to get on the field some way, like offense, special teams. It basically comes down to competition.
Right.
Because all that stuff in high school, yeah, it was good. Yeah, you won a lot of games, you ran a lot of yards, scored a lot of touchdowns. All that goes away. So when you get there, then it's okay. Who can block? Because blocking is the hardest thing to do at college as a running back. Who can do that?
That was good. Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah.
If my son is 1, but in 17 years, if I need to coach him up to get on the field fast enough, he should be blocking, right? I mean, that's
blocking is number 1. I don't know how I did it, but at times I'm my freshman year, I'm about 180, and I got to block a 280-pound DN, but somehow, some way, I just go ahead and hold him up at least enough time so Russell or Mike can get a ball off.
That's amazing. I don't know how.
Some of it is technique, and then some of it is just willpower. Like you might be outmatched, but at the end of the day, you like, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna be here all day. I gotta block for my quarterback. This is how I'm getting in the game, and I'm not gonna mess it up. You gotta have that want to. Some people don't.
You gotta have big balls to block a defensive end coming around the corner. Huh? I mean,
Mr. Daquan Bowers.
Yeah.
Quentin Coples. Yeah, y'all remember him too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some first round draft picks. Yeah. I had to stand in front of that one.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you have to put your body on the line for the team and the quarterback.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
So with our backfield this year, and even your backfield, what is it? how does it feel to have a bunch of guys that can get the carries, right, and not be a feature back? Is that challenging mentally, or is that just hey, whatever gets the job done?
It's it's good for competition. Like
Right.
it allows guys to get better. You push each other to get better at different aspects, whether it's running, blocking, catching, stuff like that. So you get better because you have a lot of guys that's really good. So everybody's pushing each other. But when it comes to game time situation and you're really rotating three, it's it kind of pulls you back where you used to, let's say 2 or 1. Like 2 is a good number where you might have 60 offensive plays, 30 and 30, or 40, 20. That's a nice little split. But when you have 3 or more, then it's like, oh, I only got about 10, 12 plays, and if I mess up, like I might not ever see the field again. So it's like a catch-22 with both as a player.
Huh. Never thought about it like that. It's almost added pressure.
Yeah, so you got a small percentage to mess up, or the next man gonna be up, and then stat wise, you're like, okay, I'm only gonna get this many plays. So if I do get the ball, I'm only gonna get the ball about out of 12 plays, probably 5.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Man.
that's the bad part of having so many that can play. But I guess you just have to stick out and be the one that can do it all and be ahead of the pack instead of being in the pack.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever get, I don't know if the word I'm looking for is angry, but angry at other guys that say you want on the field, you think you can do better? Like, how do you feel with that kind of thing,
Most of the time, like you can kind of tell in practice guys separating themselves and who deserves to be 1, 2, 3, 4 by how they're performing in practice. Now, if things go opposite of what's going on in practice, then you tend to feel some type of way. But it's not really towards the player. It's more towards like coach. Like I don't understand. I'm breaking off runs. I'm blocking. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Why am I behind this person? Then that's when it takes away from football. It's more politics stuff.
You had talked about Matt Days earlier, and
Yes.
it kind of somewhat reminded me of your junior year. He's good running and catching. Like, what does that do to an offense where you've got a running back that can do both of those things versus one that might not have good hands, kind of thing?
It makes the defense strain even more when they're trying to game plan and cover everybody. Because, of course, you're going to have Brissett who can take off running. So they might have to leave an extra guy in there to cover him, a spy. So that gives you one-on-one matchups, or maybe nobody's checking you at the running back position. So you can get out in open space and catch a ball and make a play. Where if you have a running back that really can't really catch, the defense might be like, okay, we're okay with him going out because he's 50-50 to catch it anyway. And if you do catch it, we can make a play on it. So having a guy that can do it all and get out there and be an extra receiver out of the backfield is key.
It's like a guy like Jalen Samuels. Not in addition to Matt Days, I mean, you got 2 guys that can make plays out there, right? I mean, that's got to put a lot of pressure on the defense.
Yeah, that makes you play 11 on 11.
That's
You
awesome.
can't just take plays off and count this guy out. It's a possibility, even if we're passing, the running back can get the ball.
All right. So one question, and then we'll get into just a quick what you see for the season. But a lot of guys go to school and they don't get to play for good quarterbacks, but you had good quarterbacks. So does Jacoby fit that bill for you?
Yes, I feel like he's a mix of both. When I watch him play, he gives me a arm pretty strong like Mike was and able to sit in the pocket, but also mobile and it can make things work on the fly just like Russell did.
That's a good comparison. Neither Russell or Jacoby, they're not the fastest guys, but they seem to slip away from some weird situations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to say Russell's not the fastest guy because he used to run by a lot of people. So
Who's quicker, you or Russell?
quicker?
Yeah.
See, quickness and speed is two different things. You know that, right?
Well, yeah. Tell us. What do you mean?
uh, it's quicker. We just talking about stopping, going, and starting again. Um, my pride won't let me say Russell. My pride won't let me say it. And since I earned the name of Sonic, I gotta say me.
Right?
I earned that in college for a reason. I can't say Russell. It's me.
That's awesome. We'll tweet at that. We'll tweet at him and see if he wants to, challenge you at some point.
Nah, he got bigger things to do.
Yeah.
He ain't worry about me.
So, from starting last year to this year, what kind of progression? Like, what do you see out of Jacoby this season? See, it's tough. He didn't play badly last year, so
No.
Does it get better?
My question to you is, how many returning receivers do we have?
Oh, well, there's the key part of it.
Yep, that's a problem right there. So that first 4 games are probably really needed so he can get accustomed in game time situations with the receivers, because I know that's a problem because we had that with Mike when he first started off. So honestly, I think he should be up there for ACC Player of the Year, but we got to see how the receiver, the quarterback connection work out first.
Right. Yeah.
Easy, James. You're going to get Dustin started on a rant about how Jacoby doesn't get any attention from the media preseason.
If you want to be honest, that happens all the time. I feel like everybody overlooks NC State for some reason, but we tend to beat the top-ranked teams every now and then, and they just act like it was nothing. So,
Did
you
that,
gotta roll
did
with
that
the
piss
punches.
you off as a player?
Yes, it does. I mean, because I remember perfectly we had an ABC game against Clemson, and we're beating them down. And from what I heard, they changed to a different game, so they couldn't see that beatdown.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So we always getting overlooked unless you see us on ESPN with an upset alert, Florida State. Yeah.
So it's not just the fans that feel slighted, because I feel the same way. I'm like,
No, it's
talk
not.
about us.
It's all of us. It's all of us.
That's
it's
awesome.
It's part of being a NC State supporter. You're gonna roll the roller coaster. You're gonna ride it real good.
Yeah, I'm hoping Dave Doran is kind of changing that perception. Just, I feel like he's building a different kind of program, but maybe that's just the optimism in me.
I mean, if we can win every game, I think that changes.
It's just got to set that standard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Just got to win them all.
You win them all, they can't hide NC State no more.
So that leads into our next question. So how do you feel about the schedule? Right, people have been dogging the schedule about playing some soft games or whatever. How does a player feel about that, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, those first 4 games are stat games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Troy, Eastern Kentucky, which my cousin goes there. Old Dominion, South Alabama, yeah. Those are 4 kind of like preseason games in the NFL.
So you're a player, you're trying to get in because you want to break off those big runs and get those stats up, right?
Yes, that's what that means to me. Anytime I see a schedule with it starts stuff like that, I'm like, okay, 100, 150.
So you're halfway to your 1,000 yards after that first 4 games.
Exactly. That's what you shoot for in those games. You're trying to rack up the stats. But, I mean, those are normally the warm-up games to get the execution right. And truthfully, it doesn't always work out that way. So those are normally the games you, get everything flowing. So when you start to play teams like your Virginia Techs, your Louisvilles, your Clemsons, we should be running on all cylinders.
Is it better to have those warm-up games, or would you rather as a player, would you rather just jump right into playing a Power 5 team?
As a player, you want that high profile game,
Right.
but I mean, you understand too. I mean, team might not be ready for that come day one or week one. So you just accept the fact that you're playing a lower level team and try to get better each week until you play one of the top dogs in one of the classifications or conferences.
It's got to be hard to mentally prepare yourself, right? If you're going out against Troy, are you as pumped up? If I guess maybe it's the first game of the season, so everybody's jacked up, but is your perception different if you're playing Troy versus if you're playing Auburn first game of the year?
Yeah, it's different. I mean,
Yeah.
you go from you say you playing Troy from Auburn, that's night and day. I mean, Auburn just won a national championship a couple weeks ago, so you thinking about that. Cam
Right.
Newton went there, so you're like, oh, we get to play against them first game. Of course, you hype about that, and that might be on national television because you're playing a high-profile team versus playing Troy, where it might be shown locally, maybe ESPN3, but you're not gonna get the same hype or anything like that. But I mean, at least the fans will be there because they always at every game.
That's that's one thing we got going for us. That's for sure. We definitely have the best fans in the area. That's absolutely.
I'm willing to say in the South.
Hey, I'll take it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you as a player?
Oh, that's great. I mean, because as a player, like I'm from Florida, and I grew up watching Florida State, and Miami. The time that we actually played in Tallahassee, I kind of felt like I was kind of cheated out of the experience because their fans, I guess, really didn't take us seriously, so they didn't pack out their stadium.
Right.
So at least I know when we were playing at Carter Finley, our fans gonna be there no matter what. We can play Millbrook High School, and we will have everybody there, and then some.
You hear that, fans? It's important. It's not just important for they're not just saying that. I think they actually mean it. You hear
I can go a step further. Yes, it's so important that after halftime, we notice when fans leave. Yes, I'm calling it out right now. We notice when you leave. I understand you want to go tailgating, you want your drinks, you want to eat, have fun outside the stadium, but we do notice that.
Hey, I'm with you. I hate the pass outs. I've been trying to fight my own jihad to get rid of those things. I hate when people leave. It drives me crazy.
I would want a campaign. Please stop that. It's not
Stop
cool
leaving.
at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, quick through the schedule. Get your outlook for the season. The first 4 games, I'm assuming, are W's.
It better be.
What happens if they lose one of those games?
Oof.
Like, as a player, is that like the worst possible thing that could happen?
That might be equivalent to a key player going down.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't want to lose to Troy, Eastern Kentucky, Old Dominion, or South Alabama. Those supposed to be stat games, warm-up games for your hard opponent, Louisville. So, yeah, you can't lose none of those.
All right. So we're 4-0 going into conference. First game in Louisville. What happens, man? Is that a win?
I still have animosity from that Belk Bowl. They tried to dog us before the game, which we beat them down. So
yeah, we won that game.
Yeah, we won that game.
We whipped them too. I was
they was talking a lot of stuff before it, so we're gonna beat them again.
All right. So 5-0, and then at VT on a Friday.
Oh man, this is yeah. I don't like this one at all. Because you're going to Blacksburg on a Friday night.
That's what I said. It doesn't set up good. I don't think Virginia Tech's great, but that's a bad formula.
I'm gonna say it's a close game.
You gonna pick a winner or loss?
Can I pick tie?
Yeah, tie. I mean, I think I had it as a loss.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a,
tough. Their
I'm gonna ride the
defense is
roller
there.
coaster. Yes, I'm gonna say this the L. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
high from the Louisville win because
How
people gonna pick us to lose Louisville. So I'm gonna say yeah.
how does that affect you if you win a game and the media says you're not supposed to, and then you have a tough game after that? Like, what's the mindset going into it?
You try to change gears. You try not to hang on to that last win. You try to move on. Like, yes, we beat Louisville at home. They was ranked. They didn't expect us to win. We won. Okay, that's cool. Now we got Virginia Tech on Friday. Short week. We got to transition. We got to move on. I mean, you just got to turn the page. I mean, at least with us, Sunday was like the end of the week, so we practiced Sunday. After Sunday, we on game week. We not worrying about what happened last week.
So you mentioned short week. How does that affect practice for the week?
I mean, you got one less day of practice, one less day waiting to play, one less day to recover from the last game.
Mm.
So, I mean, you got to really turn the page real quick for that Monday morning meeting and try to get all the scouting and reviewing you need to do for the install and everything, and try to put together a good game plan to take on the next team that's coming up one day shorter.
All right, so an unfortunate L against VT, and then at Wake. Like, what the hell is up with Winston-Salem, man?
Hey, this year we're taking it down. We're
Is
winning
it?
this year. We're winning this year. I'm tired of Winston-Salem. I'm tired of that problem. I don't know what it is. I've been there twice, and both times I'm like, what just happened? I don't know what just happened. We got to win this. Got to. We're taking back North Carolina. We win this. Take it back.
It's always just the craziest thing, the Wake games, man. Like,
Yes, I know. It's been crazy the two times I went there, and I felt like we had the game, and we didn't have it at the end of the game. So, yeah, we got to win this. We got to kill the curse. Curse of Winston-Salem. We got to take down the curse.
Kill the curse. I like it.
Kill the curse. Kill the curse of Winston-Salem.
So, how is homecoming game against Clemson at home on Halloween? How's that atmosphere going to be?
Can we have a blackout?
oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Can we have a blackout? It's Halloween, homecoming, blackout.
That place is going to be insane.
Back in black. Pack in black. That's what we need to be. That's what we need to be. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be crazy. Like, I vision a full stadium and probably a mile or so full of tailgating, too. Like, it's going to be wild. It's Halloween, playing against Clemson. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on TV. Probably going to have the card tricks. What we doing, the wolf pack, the eyes and everything, the whole shebang. So, yeah, this got to be all in.
I can't imagine what it's like running out of the tunnel to something like that. That's got to be awesome.
You can feel the electricity in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it. It makes your hair rise on your arms and everything.
How much does a player notice what's going on, like in the stands? Like if they're doing, say the card tricks and whatnot. Like, do y'all see that, or do you pay attention to that at all?
To be honest, when you're in there playing,
yeah,
like once the ball is snapped, you don't.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you see and notice everything.
So what's your prediction? We're gonna get the win there.
Oh yeah, we gotta win this.
That's it.
I like it.
Got to win this one. This is a must-win. Statement game.
That's it. That makes it, right?
Halloween, Clemson, statement.
So the noise there that night.
Oof.
I remember the Florida State comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how loud is that on the field?
It's so loud that when the quarterback tells you to play, you have to say, "Huh? Come closer. I can't hear you." That's how loud it gets. Like I literally had that. Was it Thursday night against South Carolina?
Yeah.
Like I literally couldn't hear. I had to. Hey, come closer. I couldn't hear the play. Like you can hear it at least before the play starts. After the play starts, it goes silent. You can't hear it.
Have you played anywhere with a louder crowd?
The loudest I've probably ever heard outside of Carter Finley was in the Georgia Dome against Tennessee.
Oh, don't bring it
Yeah.
up. Don't bring it up.
Dan
Hey, I
Rocky
don't want to
Top
talk about
every
it,
5
but
seconds.
it was loud. It was loud.
I was there. It was loud, and I was going to cry afterwards, though.
Yeah.
It was loud,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of loud turnovers, but that's another story. Another story. Yeah. The Achilles heel turnovers.
Back to this year. The next game is at BC. You know.
Win.
All right. We're going to win that game. What's it
Win.
like playing in front of 6 people?
It's actually funny because in the stands it looked like you're playing in somebody's living room,
Right.
where people are sitting there with blankets and jackets, just cuddled up in rows of 5 or 6 people, splattered everywhere. So, yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I see that it's very different, but hey, it's BC.
Yeah. I mean, TJ Graham famously said, it was boring. You're like, how could it,
Yes.
it could be boring. But,
Empty stadium kind of sucks the life out of the game.
yeah. I guess that's BC's 12th man, right? Sucking the life out of people.
Yeah, so they play with 10.5.
Then, away against Florida State.
Yes. Another statement win. I
Really?
Can't wait for this one. I need a win. I live in Florida. I hear Florida State all the time. I need it. After last year's debacle, which we were winning, and somehow it disappeared, I need this win. I need it.
So are you saying win because you really need and want the win, or you really believe?
They got to make up for last year. I don't think Florida State is as good as they were last year, even though I don't think they was that good last year. With new quarterback, and I feel like some of the key players not there like they were last year. Yes, we can take this win. We're taking it down in Tallahassee.
Man, I hope you're right.
I hope so too. I'm tired of hearing go no's and Florida State this, Florida State that. Go Pack.
I like it.
Love it. Home against Syracuse, man.
The Orange, yes, we're gonna pull this one off. This should be another good win.
I'm jotting down so I can figure out the tally at the end, and
I'm
loving your season record so far, man. Like, it's fantastic. So Carolina.
Yep. What about them?
What's a rivalry game like to play in?
Is it a rivalry game?
Well, not anymore, I don't guess. But maybe back in the day.
I don't think they call us a rivalry, right?
Well,
I don't think it's a rivalry for you. I don't think you ever lost to Carolina.
Yes. I did.
Did you?
Was it
Once
first
upon
year?
a time, the last one.
Oh yeah, that's
Bernard.
Oh,
the
Jesus,
injury.
that's right.
Yeah, that's
Kick
right.
the ball out of bounds on the punt. Kick it out of bounds. But we're not going to go there. I'm just going to say that.
Are you sick of hearing about that? Because I am. Carolina,
yeah.
go
I just
back.
hate that. We won, 5 years in a row before that?
Right.
And then my senior year, I get hurt on that game, and then we lose on a punt return. It's very sour. Very sour.
So a positive note on it. What's it like going to Chapel Hill and seeing more NC State fans than Chapel Hill fans?
It's actually hilarious. I think we should just call it Raleigh Jr. Don't even call it Chapel Hill.
I love it. I think it's hilarious when we see that. Especially when they leave.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's probably the only stadium I've probably ever seen that the home team literally don't really have any fans there, but the away team has more, like twice as many. It's supposed to be blue everywhere. I see red everywhere. It's not adding up.
I love it. I think we need to push that fact more. Everybody talks about Carolina. Like, hey, they can't even bring their own fans. We have to fill up the stadium for them.
That's true. We should take their work call away from them.
Well, a lot of Carolina fans are actually ECU football fans, so they're busy at that time.
True, yeah, because they be in Greensville, right?
But
Oh, funny you brought up them. That is probably the most hostile environment I've probably ever been in.
really,
Yes,
ECU?
Yes, ECU. I've never been somewhere where the fans literally flicked us off on the way in on the bus. When we got in the stadium, they did the announcement of the starters. Every starter, they got sucked after that, after the name been said.
Jesus.
Somehow we found a way to lose the game and they won. Their fans waved at us and flicked us off on the way out. It was pretty
Oh,
bad. Yeah, so they really hate us. So if we want to talk about rivalries, maybe ECU is really our rivalry, not Carolina.
I like it. Let's put that out there. That'll get them fired up.
Carolina's
Exactly.
below us.
Yeah, Carolina kind of feels like home.
That's awesome.
All right,
So what's that tally? Is that?
he's got us at 11-1.
I love it. I love it.
I'll take it. That's better than mine. So
11-1, and then we be playing in Charlotte against. Who's going to win the Coastal?
The Coastal. That's normally a toss up. You never know. A team with 6-6 might win. I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna go Miami.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami.
All right.
so who wins that game?
Who you think?
So we're ACC champs this year.
We're ending the
Of
drought.
course.
You heard it here first. We are ending the drought.
We need to ASAP. I'm tired of this drought. I'm still a little soft about what happened in Maryland when they cheated us that 1 yard. We would have went to the AC championship. But
It-
you know, I
It's
think
like you're reading my questions. It was, do you have any what the fuck games? Like, what happened there?
Oh yeah, you want to? Yes, that Maryland. I don't. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. So how did he get the first down?
Tell me about it.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Oh, and that was 2010. Even
Yeah.
the 2011 one where we was like just giving the game away. Like I gave a scoop and score on a catch that somehow I hit the ball on a hip pad that I had because I had a hip pointer, and they scooped it up and scored on it. It was just like a whole bunch of mistakes against a team that really wasn't good at all. And next thing you know, they're up big, and then we finally just, hey, we can beat them. They're not even that good. All right, let's go do it, and we did it.
Oh, that was a big comeback, right? It was 56.
Yeah, that was the largest comeback.
That was crazy. Everybody had left that game, and you can hear them coming back in.
See,
I remember
that's why you don't leave.
Exactly.
Wait to
Don't
end.
leave, people. No pass outs.
See, I understand 2 minutes left.
Right.
And there's no chance in the world, but if we still got another 2 quarter, like, just wait it out. You might see something special.
That was special. That was an awesome game. That was exciting.
And that Tennessee was a lot of turnovers.
It was.
That whole season, you might as well just call 2012 the turnover season. Because I swear every game we lost that year because we had 4 or 5 turnovers.
I just remember the way that game started with the deep ball over Emerson. I was just like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, I mean, we all looked at each other like, oh my God.
Is there legitimacy to SEC speed, or is it bullshit?
It's BS.
Is it?
I feel like any ACC team can beat any SEC team, which has been happening recently. But, I mean, yeah, it's all hype. Like, any given day, any given team can win. I mean, if you run a double move and I bite on the slant, of course it's going to look like you're running Mach 5 when I'm running up and you're running by. Yeah, we're running in 2 different directions. Of course you're going to look super fast.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yes, we can. ACC teams can run with just about anybody. I mean, truth be told, didn't Florida State beat Auburn for a championship? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the ACC's got better bowl records, and I think head to head the last couple of years, I
Yeah.
think
So
if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, the ACC's won that.
Yeah.
Well,
So I mean, don't believe the hype.
yeah, yeah. Last year, especially ACC, I think they, other than Florida State losing to Alabama, I think it was in the playoff.
hmm
I think the ACC was whipping the SEC in bowls. I mean, Georgia Tech stomped Mississippi State, and everybody said they should be
Exactly.
national title game. Yeah,
Yeah. And truth be told, I mean, are we really talking about the whole SEC, or are we just talking about the SEC West?
It's just the West,
it's
right?
just
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
You might as well draw a line in the sand and just say one side SEC, other side something else.
Is it a recruiting advantage if a school comes at you, say, let's say Kentucky, right? Kentucky versus NC State.
Yep.
Just say, hey, we play in the SEC. Does as a kid, do you say, oh, I want to play in the SEC?
Um, it's not really about that.
No.
It's as a kid, you thinking about playing Division One. Everybody wants to play D1, go to a big school. Then
Right.
it breaks down to okay, depth chart. What position y'all want me at? All right, running back. Okay, let me look at the depth chart. All right, you have 3 freshmen, 1 senior, 2 juniors. So I'm looking at that like, okay, I'm gonna be a freshman when I come in. It's gonna be 3 sophomores. So it's already working out against you in numbers. So you're gonna look at the numbers of the depth chart. Then you're gonna look at the team, what conference, who they play, and stuff like that. And then you gotta think about the scheme. Like, is it 1 back, 2 back? How do they run the ball? What do they do? So you really gotta make a big decision at a young age of
Right.
what is going to work for you. So, I mean, I understand when guys transfer because they made a mistake. Maybe they chose the wrong school, but I don't think guys should really get penalized for that, especially making a big decision at what 17, 18.
Sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, but
As
that's how
as
the
a
rules are.
as a running back, do you see a system like Georgia Tech? Is that attractive, or is it like I don't want to play in the option? I want to play in a real system.
I was getting recruited by Georgia Tech, and then Chan Gailey got fired, and then they
Right.
brought in Johnson. And then after that, I have a friend that ended up going there, Embry Peoples. He played running back or wing back with them, and I'm just like, no, like I'm in a traditional I formation or a shotgun or a single back ace, like me going to basically a wing and running a triple option. Nah, that isn't me, and it isn't going to get me prepared for the next level either. So
Right. I think that was
yeah,
that's interesting.
you got to think about that.
Well, I mean, we could probably take up all night asking you random ass questions, but we've taken up.
Oh, I
enough
got plenty of time. I mean, you haven't talked to me in a couple of years, so hey.
Well, is there anything you'd like to ask of our audience? Follow you on Twitter or find you on Instagram or anything we can do for you?
Anything you can do for me? Y'all can all pray that one day this nerve injury comes back 100%. Because if that ever happens, then I would possibly be able to play again. Because truth be told, that's the only thing that's really holding me back. Because when I got injured, I tore multiple ligaments like ACL, LCL, PCL, muscles like hamstring, calf, and then also had a strained peroneal nerve. That nerve controls your feeling in your leg, and it controls your motion and moving of your like foot, knee, and everything. So when I got hit, I literally went numb from mid thigh down. Like I couldn't feel anything, and slowly over time, it has been coming back to the point now I can walk without the brace, but I gotta concentrate on lifting my foot, which I barely can do that, but just good enough that I don't fall or have to use the brace. So
Wow.
when I talk about knee recovery, yeah, my knee is fine. Yeah, I can get on a squat rack and squat over 400 pounds and have no problem. I can get out there and run a little bit, no problem. But it's really the nerve part that hasn't come back all the way that really stopping me from doing any real pro CFL football thing, because without that, I'm unable to dorsiflex flex my foot and be able to run around and make moves without any type of brace, because it would give, which I can't control, which I'll end up hurting my leg again. So that's probably the only thing.
So say your prayers for James Washington.
Yeah, you got him, man.
I mean, since you brought it up, I mean, if y'all really, really, really want to follow me on Twitter, I mean, it is J_N_W3. Just my initials. Nothing too fancy.
Cool. We'll link to it on our notes and our blog post for it, so people can find you too.
Yeah, we found a highlight video on YouTube too that we're going to link out for people to see.
27 minutes of James Washington.
Days.
Oh, yeah. see what had happened was
that's the way all good stories start.
Yeah, I was at Carter Finley after I got injured, so I find myself in the meeting room chopping up plays and seeing, my whole spill of my career and what I did at NC State. And I literally ended up making about 20, 22 minutes worth of film. The rest, it just goes black. I don't know why I did that. It just happened. But, yeah, I kind of made that. And through the years, I've been looking back to it. I've cut out stuff from it. I've trying to perfect it, but people tend to like that one, so I just leave it.
That's awesome. Well, we'll definitely share it out. I'm sure people will be interested to watch it. We can't get enough football, especially until Saturday.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. The draft is almost over.
Well, man, if you make it up to a game this year, let us know. Your food's on us. So.
Okay. So I'm probably gonna come to that Halloween one, and I'm hoping we wear black. But that's awesome. Why I was pitching that.
We'll help you push that too.
Exactly.
We got to get something trending, some hashtag for
Packing black.
Yeah, packing black on
Packing
Halloween.
Black, that's fine.
And killing pass outs. That was it. Well, that was the other one. But yeah, you're absolutely welcome to tailgate with us, hang out with us. Have a couple of drinks. We appreciate your time.
Well, it's no problem.
It was awesome to have you on. It was a completely different perspective than me and dumbass on the other end here can provide.
I mean, yeah, it's different when you behind the scene. You notice everything that goes on.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate it. We wish you best with your rehab and getting better, and we'll look forward to seeing what's next in James Washington's career.
All right, thanks.
Thanks,
man.
Y'all. You have a good night, bud.
You too.